Hi everybody, and welcome to Summative Day. Today I'm going to be introducing to you the summative, and I'm going to be trying to do this whole video without any edits. You probably have noticed that there tends to be quite a few edits in my videos. That's pretty much whenever I lose my train of thought, or whenever I'm unsure of what I want to say next, or whenever I screw up bad enough that I think that I should start over. I cut out that part. For your project, you're going to be trying to do your best to not have any edits to your video at all. I want you to imagine that you're going to be standing up in front of a classroom and you're going to be teaching. What you're going to be doing is choosing some aspect of this novel that you really enjoyed or you really found interesting or insightful or just cool, and you're going to be lecturing on that. You're going to be teaching me what you know. So as far as how do you deliver a good lecture goes, you don't have to be an expert. You just have to try your best. And even if you were an expert, you would have some notes. Those were upside down, that's fine. You're going to have some notes. You're going to be able to jot down some notes and have something in front of you that you can refer to and look down like I did just now. That's going to be totally fine. And if you were delivering a lecture, unless you were shooting from the hip and winging it, you would definitely prepare. You would have some notes with you, right? So you're going to be imagining that you're teaching a lesson and you've got your notes in front of you, but you're not going to be reading. And I would suggest, like, these are my notes. This is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. It's what's on the rubric, pretty much. And you're not going to be reading to me. That goes against 100% what I believe in when it comes to delivering presentations. A good presentation comes from a solid foundation of knowledge. I want to know what you know. I don't want you to go online and try to find something that you think is going to impress me and then kind of like half learn it and then try to deliver it, but it doesn't come across very well and it becomes very clear to me that you don't really know what you're talking about. I want you to go based on the foundation of knowledge that you have, having read this book twice now, because if you've done the close readings, you might even have read this book, some of you 3 times, and if you've done the video Sparks notes, that road mapping activity, you've definitely gone through this novel 3 times. If you count the discussion of it, you've gone through it a 4th time pretty much. So you've got a great foundation of knowledge and understanding. Drawing on that, I want you to talk to me. So you're not going to be reading, you're going to be talking to me. And I'll be able to see, based on the number of times that you have to glance down at your notes, I'm going to have that's going to give me a sense of how well you know your topic. Now, look at your notes. Use them as cues. It's totally fine. I don't expect you to totally memorize or even to try to memorize 10 minutes worth of content, right? That goes against what I'm going for here. I want to know what you know, and you're going to jot down some notes to prepare and to organize your thoughts. That's totally fine. You're going to try to use as little editing as possible. For those of you who know a little bit of video editing and stuff, you might think that, well, the easiest way for me to do this would be to film it maybe like a minute at a time and then just edit all those 1-minute good copies together for my 10 minutes. But the more editing that you do, the more opportunity there is that, like, you totally messed up and then you had to go back and you had to stop and you had to rethink. And what I want to see is I want to see your ability to explain. And it is okay to slow down. It's okay to pause. It's okay to kind of like stop and collect your thoughts. I would rather see that than to see a really fancily edited video, which may have taken you 3 days to put together. Okay. Ideally, your lecture would be the same way as if you were lecturing to a class. You would come in, the bell would ring, and you would deliver your lecture. And you wouldn't be able to like leave the room for 10 minutes to go and collect your thoughts and come back. Okay? Some editing is going to be okay though. I mean, you're not professional teachers or lecturers, so I would expect that maybe If you had to stop maybe once every 2 minutes, that would be totally fine. In order, to deliver 2 minutes worth of content without having to stop, I think that shows me a pretty proficient level of understanding. All right. So, kind of summing things up, this is the downside to not editing, by the way, is I tend to ramble. So every once in a while, I guess I'm going to have to summarize. To summarize, you're going to be speaking for 10 minutes about the topic of your choice related to Heart of Darkness. You're going to be able to have notes with you, but you're going to want to speak to us without stopping and with as few edits and stoppages in your video as you can get away with. So let me talk about what you're going to be marked for and what I'm looking for as you deliver this lecture. Under knowledge and understanding, there's 3 things I'm going to be looking for. Number 1, obviously you have to know Heart of Darkness. I want to get a sense that you know this book really well. So I'm looking for specific details as opposed to vague generalizations. Specific details and examples from the novel tell me you know something, but vague generalizations, it leaves it questionable, all right? Very blurry. That plays into yesterday's lesson with the blurring of the lines between sanity and insanity. I want to know that you understand this book, and so your use of specific facts and details, and especially accurate facts, make sure you know your stuff and don't say anything that's not actually true. Your use of terms, as you're discussing literature now, you should have a pretty good working knowledge of literary terms and devices. Just like with the Unit 1 project, I don't want you to start tacking on devices to make it sound like you know more than you do. I just, whenever you're talking about a device of some sort, I would expect that you would use the proper term. So if you were talking about 2 things that are up against each other and contrast greatly, I would expect you to use the word juxtapose. If you're talking about a color that keeps coming up over and over in the novel, I would expect that you would use the word motif, okay? That sort of thing. So basically, I'm just going to be looking to make sure that you know your literary devices and you can use them as part of your analysis of Heart of Darkness and as part of your lecture, right? And notes. I'm going to actually be grading your notes for the week. For those of you who've been working really hard, and you've got great notes going into this, to me that's preparedness. You're going to be preparing for this project based on doing the lessons along the week. So for those of you who've been really working your butts off this week, you've already got a level 4 on one category in the rubric, so well done. So that takes us through knowledge and understanding onto thinking. The first thing, obviously, you need to have a good topic. You have to think of a good topic, and I want to see that you can relate everything back to that topic. So, for example, if your topic is one of the themes, and you are allowed to use the 3 themes that we've looked at, don't lecture on the things that I've already lectured on, so don't talk about how everything can come back to Kurtz and then explain how Kurtz shows the darkness of the human heart begins with a lack of restraint, because I've already lectured on that. But you could lecture on where that lack of restraint appears throughout the whole rest of the text. For those of you some of you, your notes are quite impressive about that. So for any of the themes, that could be your topic. Characterization could be your topic, like one character or another. I think stay away from Kurtz because I've talked about him quite a bit, but Marlowe could be your topic, and you could look at Marlowe as anti-hero. You could look at Marlowe as unreliable narrator. You could look at the portrayal of African people as your topic. Use your notes and use your discussion, your contributions to the discussion forum as a place to maybe inspire you to find a good topic, and make sure everything you talk about always comes back to that topic. So I don't want the shotgun approach where you just here are the 500 things that I learned about Heart of Darkness, boom, okay? I want you to focus on a topic and branch off from that topic, but make sure everything you talk about does relate back to that. And I'm looking for some depth. I want to know that you know more than just the surface. I want to be able to separate those of you who have read and reread the novel from those of you who watch the video Sparks Notes and are trying to just float by with this project. You're going to have a surface understanding, and it's going to show, and that's going to be level 1 for that part of the rubric. Okay, show me some depth. Show me that you know your stuff. Dig deep into the text. Give me lots of specific examples of things, a variety of examples. Show me some scope. Show me that you understand the whole novel from part 1 through to part 3. Those are all great things. And relevance. Obviously, make sure that whatever you're talking about is relevant, which means make sure that it's not stuff that I've covered already, and make sure that everything is, again, back related to the topic. And relevance also has to do with making sure that what you're saying is of a certain amount of importance, and that the ideas are yours. So have a look at my description on the rubric. I think I've worded it much better there than I have just now. Under communication, I'm going to be looking for a good solid delivery of the material. So make sure that you practice well and prepare it. Your tone should be a serious tone. Have a look at my rubric description again, because there's a few things on there, like even the way that you dress when you're giving a presentation is part of your nonverbal communication. So I want the tone to be fairly serious. You don't have to be all stuffy, but you should definitely be serious. This is a serious project. You're for you students. This should be professional looking. And the expertise, you should really know your stuff. And this is where being able to deliver content in 2-minute bursts without having to edit shows the expertise. It shows that you really do know your topic. You know this novel inside and out. Under application, engagement. Your lecture should be interesting. So I'm looking for your personality to shine through. I'm looking for your creativity to shine through. I'm hoping to be interested. I'm hoping to want to watch all 10 or more minutes of your lecture. All right, so make it interesting for the audience, which is me. I like things that are smart. I like smart humor. I like intelligent conversation. So as audience, that's where I am. Reach me. Pickups. I want to see your insights into the text, and I want to emphasize your insight, the things that you have pulled out in your close reading. I want to see the cool stuff that you've walked away with. Those are the pickups. And with your 3 lessons on close reading, that's what you've been doing, is you've been looking close to the text. And some of you have picked up some really awesome things. So make sure that when you're thinking about your topic, make sure you come up with a topic where you can work those cool pickups into the content for your lecture. And then the last thing is production. So I'm not looking for much as far as production value goes. I totally don't want you spending a day trying to add special effects and CGI into this. That's not what the project is about. The production value should be clean. The video should be clean, which means I should be able to hear your audio really well. Your video should be clear, shouldn't be shaky. For those of you who've been trying to film with having your laptop or your tablet on your knees at the same time, make sure that you have a nice clean video, and make sure that it's titled, and make sure that you look professional in it, and you didn't shoot it in your messy room or whatever. It should look clean. All right? So that is what the project is, and that is what you're being graded for. And I think I've managed to get through this whole video without messing up so bad that I had to stop and edit out a screw up. So there's your exemplar. This is as good as it needs to be. Some guy sitting in his basement bathroom delivering a lesson for 10 minutes, or I guess in this case I'm looking, it's more like 15. This is it. All right? So let me know if you need any help or if you have any questions, and you've got today, should be enough time to put it together, but I'll give you the whole weekend to work on it before I start hounding.